Today I'm going to be showing off my run for the Deathless champs versus the Necropolis, and like all of you who are going to be taking this run, I do have all 5 of the champions, as you do need them to do it, but I do have Deathless She-Hulk and Deathless Thanos at rank 3, and I also have Guillotine at rank 2. Now you're going to notice at the beginning of the video probably that my Thanos was already awakened at the time, and that's because this Titania fight specifically I recorded after I completed the run, because I just didn't get the Titania recording originally. So all of the other fights are when I actually did the challenge, so Thanos would be unduped for all of them, except for this fight where I redid it afterwards. But yeah, we're going to be going over a little bit of a short clip of each fight, just so you know how to do it, and or at least just see how I did it. And then we're just going to talk a little bit about them and let some of the fights play out, and hopefully this will help you guys on your runs. So this Titania fight, a good thing we can just talk about for this one is just the basic Deathless She-Hulk rotation. And I like to usually go for 1 or 2 of the debilitates from her SP3 at the start of the fight, just to give me a bit more of an insurance policy in case some of the defenders do not decide to throw their specials immediately and you're at risk of losing traumas. So we go for the debilitates to increase the duration of all of our traumas for the rest of the fight, and then as we stack more and more of them, they are going to last longer. And for this Titania fight, I do 2 of the special 3s to get 2 debilitates, but for some of the fights I'm only going to do 1. It just kind of depends on how I feel, how difficult I feel like the fight could be. And yeah, another thing to know about She-Hulk is that when you're running her with the Thanos synergy, which you're obviously going to be doing for this challenge, you are going to be gaining a grit passive every time you counter the opponent's heavy or special attack, which is going to be very helpful for Titania's Haymaker. Does not come into play much more in this challenge, but for Titania it is very good. And then the other synergy that you're going to be benefiting from on Deathless She-Hulk is the fact that if you intercept the opponent, you will be placing an additional trauma. So you're going to build a bunch of traumas by intercepting and just hitting the opponent, and then on SP2s, drop the SP2s, you just do a crap ton of damage. As you can see here, Titania is just melting. We have 85 traumas at this point, which is usually way more than we're going to have for any of the other fights. And Titania also has some physical resistance, causing that fight to last a bit longer than it normally would. So yeah, she did the fight in about 7 minutes, which is probably the longest Deathless She-Hulk fight. I'm running a 15% attack boost for like all of the run, but that is the only boost I believe, and yeah, that's like the longest She-Hulk fight. So next up we're fighting Aarkus. You gotta do this one with Deathless Guillotine. My Deathless Guillotine is rank 2, however, you really don't need your Guillotine to be rank 2 if you are okay with doing this fight in like 1 revive. She can definitely do it at rank 1. I just went for rank 2 because I could. And you just spam SP1 in this fight, because what the SP1 is going to do is it's going to nullify any buffs Aarkus had, and then place a 100% neutralize, or 150% actually. And then he's just kind of shut down the whole fight. Obviously, Guillotine has pretty decent damage, but is not really made for long fights, so it is going to take a while. And as you're going to see here, we're in the second phase of the Necropolis charges. He's down to 24%. I'm going to eat a combo here, which almost kills me. Luckily, it doesn't get an intercept there. Go for an SP2, but my neutralize is going to fall off, so I do need to get another one back with the SP1 as soon as I can. Luckily, the power gain is still a little bit away, but it looks like it's going to come back here. And then I need to go for an intercept. He doesn't play into it, and then I just get punched and die. So we did 20, like we brought him all the way down 20-something% in about 7 minutes or so, and then now we're going to finish him off after I eat an SP2, very elegantly, by the way. And then he goes down with just the 1 revive, so it took another 2 minutes, but that's all good. And now we move on to this Omega Sentinel fight, where we're going to be talking about Deathless Thanos, where Thanos is really, really good for this fight until you get to phase 3, when he can't armor shatter the opponent anymore, because then it feels really bad. But we can at least see how I ramp Deathless Thanos and how I use him for most of these fights via this Osend fight. And then once we get her down to like 40%, then he kind of struggles with this one a lot, because this fight just kind of sucks a lot when she's down to that percentage threshold. However, I'm still going to go pretty well. We want to use the counter punch basically as soon as we get it, which is going to give us more of our necrotic energy. You want to have 20 necrotic energy when dropping your SP1s, and then you're going to have a higher chance of gaining that fury. So whenever you get your counter punch, which is every 10 necrotic energy, use it, whether on a basic attack or on the opponent's special. And then once you get those debuffs, you want to keep using your counter punch to hit the opponent and pause the furies. And then it's also going to pause your armor shatter, which you're going to get right here. Once you have 30 energy, you're going to place an armor shatter on your heavy attack, whether it lands or you cancel it into the SP2. So here I messed up. I should not have dropped my own SP2. I need to be going for an SP3. I don't know how or why she charged a heavy there, but it caused me to eat it, which is annoying. So now I need to go for a counter punch there to pause my stuff. And now we're going to be going for SP3s. SP3s are most of the damage that Thanos is going to be causing in this fight, because it is going to allow him to place a passive corrosion that lasts indefinitely, and these stack up to like 10. So we're going to be spamming a lot of them this fight, and they always do about that much damage. So once you just keep stacking them, which you can do pretty fast because you have a really potent energize, so you're getting to SP3 really fast, then he's just going to start hitting extremely hard. And yeah, that's kind of how you kind of want to use Thanos. So dex the specials if you can help it, rather than counterpunching them when it comes to her SP2 specifically, and then you are not going to get incinerated, obviously, and you're just having a good time. Now I know the SP2 dex isn't the easiest. It's something I've had a lot of practice in, so I do recommend you try and practice that, because you really don't want to get the incinerate on you through the block, of course. So you could obviously opt to only baiting her SP1s, which is also fine. Here she's cycled into the debuff, which is heal block, which is going to cause that to be much more annoying if I bait SP1s, because you can't willpower heal off the cowardice or whatever. So I'm just going to be pushing her to SP2s because I know I can dex them just fine. But baiting SP1s is perfectly fine as well. So no harm, no foul if you choose to do that. And yeah, the corrosions just keep ticking. We have 3 of them now, and I'm going to skip a little bit in the fight. We have 4 of them, and then we're going to reach phase 3, which is super awesome. So in this phase, when she is crit, or she crits, I guess, I think, then she's going to go immune to armor shatter. So this corrosion is not going to do a lot of damage. In fact, none of the corrosions are going to do a lot of damage, because corrosion is a debuff that scales with the ability accuracy reduction of armor up effects. So when it is negated by 100%, like the armor shatter would do, it's going to increase the damage of your corrosions by 100%. So now my corrosions are definitely not hitting as hard, which is very annoying. So we're just going to be spamming SP2s because there's not really a great reason to go for SP3 now. And I'm going to lose my fury buffs here because the auto block just kind of sucks. So yeah, once you get to this point in the fight, it just doesn't feel good, but don't worry, I do have a solution to this. Once we die with Thanos, there's going to be another decent option for us to go to. And yeah, she just keeps gaining armor. There's not much you can do about it. It's just so consistent. And every time she gains armor, once she reaches 5 of them, auto blocks, not much you can do about it. You get the incinerate on you, and I have heal blocks on me now, so I'm just dead. But at least we got her all the way down to 20%. Yeah, 22. So it was a pretty good run. I decided to go in with Deathless King Groot, my rank 1 Deathless King Groot, just to see if he could do anything. He has an undermine on his special attacks from the synergies, so that can be a little useful, but my rank 1 isn't really going to be doing anything. So we are going to finish the fight off with Guillotine, who I forgot has the Neutralize on her SP1, which is just going to prevent all the armors from Oscent, and yeah, Guillotine does this fight very well, just pretty slow. Slow but very safe, so a very good phase 3 option that I would recommend you using. So, start with Thanos, finish with Deathless Guillotine. That's kind of how you want to go about this Omega Sentinel fight. And then she goes down, just like that. Now, we have a Deathless She-Hulk fight against this Airwalker here. If you don't know how to fight Necropolis Airwalker, basically the goal is to not eat special ones, but block them. You want to block specials, specifically the beam hits in Airwalker's Special 1 or SP2. You want to do that because then he's not going to place any Dark Tide on you. So the Armor Break would be healing. However, if you have Armor Break and Dark Tide on you, you're going to take damage. So the goal is to only block the special hits, the special beams specifically, and then spam SP2s for the Withers. The Withers are going to go a long way in this fight, obviously, as a lot of Airwalker's threat is his passive power gain. I'm not even going to go for any debilitates in this fight. I didn't find it necessary. And yeah, I'm not parrying the special ones because I don't want the Tranquilize on me. However, if you do parry the SB1s, you are going to be conserving a lot of health that way. And later in the fight, I'm going to be opting to parry the SB1s to save some health and just suffer with the Tranquilize on me. Once I start having a higher amount of trauma debuffs and I'm comfortable with the amount I have, I'm definitely going to start parrying the specials so that I conserve a lot of my health. And yeah, you just keep dropping the SP2s and he's kind of just locks down in the rhythm. That's just kind of the way She-Hulk fights tend to go. You just lock the opponent down. So yeah, Traumas are putting in a lot of work. We have 42 of them now, which is like half of how the Titania fight ended with like 85. And when I find the opportunity to, I'm going to go for an Intercept, which again via the synergy is going to give me another trauma. So that's super helpful. And Airwalker is almost dead at this point. He's not going to last that much longer. SP2 here. Another important thing about this node on Airwalker specifically is you do need to knock him down every 15 seconds, I believe. Otherwise, he's going to gain his Herald ability, which She-Hulk probably counters in a way because she has grit, and I think that would bypass what the threat of it is, but still don't want to push him there if you can help it. So, now we're fighting Captain Britain. Started using Thanos for this fight. Deathless She-Hulk does this fight very well too. I think Deathless She-Hulk is better for this fight than Thanos is. I just kind of wanted to play Thanos, if I'm being entirely honest with you. And he still does a pretty decent job for this fight. Not the best option, because you do take a bit of block damage when you're going for the when you're going to block her specials at the end, because she's going to gain a bunch of prowess, and it's just going to hurt you a bit. However, you do still gain some willpower healing via the exhaustions, so it could be worse, and you don't necessarily have to block the final hit of every special if you don't want to, as I believe I'm going to end up stopping, because, yeah, it is taxing on my health. So we're just going to counterpunch basics if we can help it, and here I barely got mine paused, but we're going to go for a refresh there. And the refresh also gives me a Genesis passive, which is going to regen me a portion of the damage that the defender takes, so it is helping my sustainability a bit. We're like down below 20% and Captain Britain's at like 90, but Thanos is actually going to do a massive chunk of our health, so we are definitely not out yet. We have 3 passive corrosions now, and they're doing a lot less damage because I don't have the Armor Shatter on, and I don't know why I don't have the Armor Shatter on. I need to go for it. There I do. And now my corrosions are going to hit a lot harder. So I should have gotten that on much earlier in the fight. I don't know if I just didn't recognize it or what, but now that they are active, my corrosions are doing double the damage, and you definitely want to make sure you have that Armor Shatter on at all times if you can help it. So I'm going to go for like SP1, SP3 as a cycle, just to help maximize the amount of health I have. While also continuing to place more corrosions on Captain Britain. So, yeah, we have 5 of them now, and she is melting. It's not like the fastest thing ever, but it's still going pretty well. Go for another SP1, grab another Genesis passive, and then start healing again, which it fell off before I could really utilize a lot of it, but that's okay. Armor Shatter is going to fall off soon as well, but we can use a simple heavy attack to replace it whenever we need to, because it consumes 30 of your energy to place the Armor Shatter, but you're almost always going to have 30 energy, so it ends up being, you know, pretty chill. Like here, I'm going to go for it again. You also get a nice little damage burst of corrosion when you drop the heavy attacks, so that is pretty helpful. Now we're going to go for another SP3, so 7 of the corrosions, and I'm going to die like as soon as she enters the second form of the necro charges. So that's a little annoying. But he did a massive chunk of her health pool, especially with how low my health was at part of the fight, so I'm pretty happy with it. Counter punch there, go for a special 2 just to do a little bit more damage before I inevitably die, and then I think I tried to dex it, but I was inverted, so I messed it up. Now we're using Deathless Vision, just to see if he could do literally anything useful for once, and turns out he can't. So now we're going to be using She-Hulk to finish off the fight. And then I believe I'm going to die because of inverted controls or something that I just messed up on. I don't remember, but we're about to find out, I believe. This fight actually was like the most revives I used on one fight. Oh yeah, she dropped the special into my block. So I wasn't ready for it, and then I died. So that's how that happened. Okay, now I remember. Anyway, I ended up getting her down with some champ. I don't even remember what I did, but she went down, and now we're using Deathless She-Hulk for this Wiccan. This Wiccan is maybe the easiest fight in the run. You just get those traumas up, they counter his regen, and then you hit very hard. The main things you want to be aware of in this fight is trying to not get a neutralize on you, and trying to not get the flame spell on you. So, as you can see, Wiccan has those rotating spells. Whenever he is knocked down, he cannot get them. However, if the timer expires, then he is going to get them. The ones that you really want to avoid are the neutralize and the flame. And I got the neutralize on me, unfortunately, but it's okay. We can deal with it. And here, I'm going to go for the SP1 to avoid the flame. I'm eating a bunch of hits here because I'm bad, I guess. I don't know. But now he's going to go for the SP2. He gains a power efficiency at the end of the special, which is annoying, but he's also like below 62% health already. He's got like negative physical resistance, which makes the traumas just pop off so much. And yeah, it's like as much as I've messed up in this fight, it doesn't even matter. He keeps pausing the power efficiency, which is super annoying, but it doesn't really matter. It's going to fall off right there. 45% now, and I'm just hitting so hard. We're going to go for an SP2 here sooner or later. And then we're still not even below 200 necro charges, which is completely insane. Are we going to kill him before we go below 200 necro charges? I don't remember, but it looks like it might happen. Yeah, we're at 210 now. Going to go for an SP2 here. And then, yeah, we're going to kill him before he goes below 200 necro charges. So that's a 3 minute and 24 second necro solo. That might be that is the fastest necro solo I've ever had. The fastest, probably not, but definitely the fastest that I've ever done. So now we're using Thanos versus this Psycho Man. And normally you obviously don't want to drop your SP1 when he's got his control box on the special mode, but I was just dropping it so that my next SP1s would not suffer from that. So now we're doing more SP1s to get the Furies maxed out, and here it's literally just spam SP3s like we normally would. And then once you get to 3 bars of power, you should be in the mode on Psycho Man's kit that affect heavy attacks. So you drop the SP3 and then it does the corrosion. You don't have to worry about the concussion at all. And we're kind of chilling. We just need to complete the prompts that he tells us to do, which is usually pretty simple. If you can dex Psycho Man's special 2 like I can, it helps a lot. I recommend you trying that. But then you can also counterpunch the last hit of Psycho Man's SP2, which is something you also want to do if you can help it. So as you can see here, I'm going to go for the counterpunch, pause all my things. We have 2 passive corrosions. He's below 76%. Everything is going pretty great. But my Furies are about to fall off, or at least some of them are, but we're going to go for a refresh pretty soon. I want to try to hold on to him as long as I can, because I don't really want to go for a special one when he was in the control box that would affect specials. So I believe this corrosion that we just placed does a lot less damage because we don't have a lot of furies, but we're going to fix some of that here, except we're actually going to die. What happened that caused him to go to special 3? I don't even remember in the moment, and I don't even remember now, so give me a second to go look back at the clip. Okay, I think what happened was he got some passive power from when I was power locked, or I think he's got some ability that's something like that. I don't even know, man. It's Psycho, man. How much am I supposed to know about his kit? But either way, it just messed up my solo, but on the second attempt, you can see it's going fine. We have 5 corrosions up, and he's just dead. And we're gonna go for the heavy there into the SB1, which was probably stupid, but he goes down just like that. So, one revive for Thanos on Psycho Man, and then we're going to move on to section 2, where I am taking the Apocalypse lane. Starting with APOC. You probably also want to be using She-Hulk for this fight rather than Thanos, but I just kind of wanted to play Thanos. So that's kind of why I title these videos like here's how I took, rather than calling it a guide, because I do a bunch of stupid crap that I probably wouldn't recommend in my runs. So yeah, I'd say She-Hulk is better for this fight than Thanos is, but I wanted to play Thanos, so I'm playing Thanos. And Thanos is a little bit annoying to use with the counterpunch, because on this node they're going to gain an indestructible for 3 seconds when they dash forward. So it's a little bit more annoying when you want to be doing the counterpunch and they are indestructible for a lot of it. However, Thanos, with the amount of damage over time he's got, can still handle it. Because then you're just doing a bunch of damage while the opponent's in their special animations or something, so they have a bunch less time to dash forward and gain that indestructible. So it goes pretty well. It's not a big deal. We're gonna, just do Thanos things. Like here we have 6 of the corrosions, and I tried to dex it and failed miserably. So yeah, I probably could have soloed that fight if I didn't play stupid, but I did. So yeah, that's the APOC fight. We were making really good time. He definitely can solo that. And then here I believe I'm going to die again. Somehow misdexing the SP2. I'm usually really good at that, so don't know exactly how I messed it up. But as you can see here, it's very Jover, because that degen just lasts forever. So I'm just kind of taking down slowly but surely. Just drop the SP2, get a little bit more damage off before I am dead. And then yeah, he's gonna kill me right there. Down to 19% though, so we will still finish off with Thanos. I only went for 1 passive corrosion and then just kind of spammed SP2s for that fight. So yeah, 2 revives with Thanos legitimately is a very soloable fight. I did not solo it. So anyway, now we're fighting Tigra. Super chill Deathless She-Hulk fight. You get the fear up from her heavy attack, and when She-Hulk has her fear up, she cannot miss. As you can see, I'm literally checking right here to make sure I remember what it did. That's not something that fear always has. Like if you're using White Tiger or Serpent, that is not causing your attacks to not miss. In Serpent's case, it is his true focus. But for Deathless She-Hulk specifically, her personal fear counters miss, so you can not have to worry about Tigra's stupid blue sense or whatever, which I believe gives your light attacks a chance to miss or something. So we're just going to counter her specials with my heavy, and she's just kind of locked down. This fight is so unbelievably under control. We're also Rupture immune, which did not need it, by the way. The amount of benefits that She-Hulk got for this fight specifically was insane. She's Rupture immune with one of the synergies. I don't know if it's on Thanos or another champion, but this fight is a complete joke for her. And yeah, 53 ruptures here. She-Hulk completely annihilates Tigra. That one combo into an SP1 did like 5% of her health alone, so in a 4-minute fight, almost 5 minutes. And now we're fighting from like the easiest fight in this run to like the worst fight in this run, because I swear there's never been a run where Hercules was not my least favorite fight in the entire path. This fight sucks, and it always sucks no matter who you're using. I was using Wong, who is arguably the best counter for this for my 10-year run. It still was the worst fight on the path. So yeah, you can use Deathless Guillotine, do some really nice SP3 damage. It's gonna do like 1%, 1.5% each time, as long as you have one soul, because of the way her SP3 damage works. It's percentage based. So, you know, that's helpful, and it means that if you're going for SP3s, your triggers protection a lot less than normal. However, this fight still sucks. And as you can see, Guillotine's damage is not the best, so that was completely BS. Like, it's really annoying, but whatever. So yeah, you just kind of go for SP3s with Guillotine and try to do a bunch of damage. The Indestructible is a lot more annoying on Guillotine than it is for She-Hulk or Thanos. And then I get intercepted there and die, so gonna go in with She-Hulk. She-Hulk has to worry about the protections a bit more, because she does want to drop SP2s if she can help it. However, this is not a bad fight at all. I guess I should talk about how this fight works, though, instead of just complaining about it. At the start of the fight, so when Hercules has 100% health to 70, he is going to... That's how I died, by the way. That was beautiful special intercept. He's going to trigger a protection after my specials, which is going to be removed if you intercept counter Hercules' heavy with a non-heavy, or something else, which I don't remember. Intercept counter heavy, or... I genuinely am drawing a blank. So, you can look at the abilities and figure it out for yourself, because I cannot remember. But, either way, he's going to get protection. You want to remove it. In the first phase, it's after your special attacks. In the second phase, it's after yours and his. And in the third phase, which makes the fight a tragedy, you cannot duplicate like the removal actions. What that means is, if you remove the protection by a heavy, the next removal you need to do cannot be by a heavy. So, yeah, we're gonna counter his heavy like that. That means the next protection he gets, we cannot remove it by countering his heavy. That's how Phase 3 works, and it makes this fight actual torture. So yeah, he's got a lot of protection, but we're gonna get him down with Guillotine again, who, again, because of the fact that she's only dropping SP3s in this fight mainly, you're not triggering a lot of protections, so it doesn't feel that bad, except it does feel bad when you die to block damage like that, because holy crap, that ripped apart my block, so... but we're gonna get the Deathless King Groot finish, which is... Yeah, we're using Deathless King Groot, so... Look at that, he did something. Not really, because he did 3% of his health, but he still owed a fight, except not really. Anyway, now we're fighting Captain America Sam Wilson. This is a really, really easy fight for Thanos, probably like the easiest fight Thanos is going to get. Once you get Armor Shatter up, his armor ups are just kind of gone, so no more auto block at that point. We're going to go for an SP3 as soon as Cap Sam drops his special, and that's going to place the Corrosion, and then we're going to have to deal with the auto block on one special, but as long as we keep the Armor Shatter up after that, we're not going to have to deal with it. I don't really know why exactly I didn't. Well, no, I had too much power. That's why I didn't do SP1s early in the fight, because I wanted to ramp up my energy to get the Armor Shatter up as fast as possible, but that meant that like I couldn't really go for SP1s, so that's why I went for an SP3 first, just because SP1s would be consuming my energy when I don't really want that to happen yet. So, now that we have the Furies up, though, once we go for the SP3s, our Corrosions are going to be hitting a lot harder. We still have to deal with the Indestructible, mitigating a lot of damage a little bit, but it's not too bad. And we're going to skip over to closer to the fight's end, where we have 7 of them. And we're just hitting super, super hard. And once I had 7, I'm like, we're just going to go for SP2s and blitz him down with these corrosions on the SP2. So, anyway, yeah, Cap Sam is just going down super fast. And then another SP2, and 8%, 7%, 6%, 5%. What am I doing? Oh, I'm trying to go for a counter punch, which we get right there. And 4, 3, 2, 1, and then the relic, does the trick. So, yeah, Thanos solos Captain America Sam Wilson, and then we're going to move on to the next fight, which is going to be Dragon Man. I skipped a lot of this one because it's so boring. Like, there's nothing to talk about. It's the same exact She-Hulk thing where I go for an SP3 and then spam SP2s and then boop, the defender's locked down, so GG's. That's literally how this fight goes, because we got like class advantage, and She-Hulk with class advantage feels so much different than her without it, because she doesn't increase her own attack in any way like the other She-Hulk does. So yeah, 6.5 minutes is definitely pretty nice. And then we do the exact same thing to Cap Infinity War. This one you have to use your brain a bit more for, because you need to make sure that he never gets 5 of his kinetic energy, because then he's going to place a concussion on you. And I believe you also just don't want to parry in this fight, which is also not a big deal because he's dropping specials so often. So yeah, this fight's so chill. 1% and then he dies right here. Even if he glances a little bit, it doesn't matter. The fight goes down in, how fast was that? Am I gonna show it? It is in 6 minutes. That was somehow faster than Dragon Man. I don't even know how. So now we're fighting Nova. Guess what? It's the same freaking thing. We just kind of place traumas, and then he dies really fast. Just don't want to stay too close to him for too much of a period of time, or else he is going to power burn you or something like that. I don't know. He just dies. Like, he freaking dies. So 1%, boop, dead. That was what added up to be like 110,000 damage. Medium attack. Very casual, very normal things happening. And now we fight Grandmaster. If you didn't see my Grandmaster fight from my 10-year challenge video, I recommend go watch it because it was hilarious, and this one is also pretty funny. But we're just gonna fight the Grandmaster with King Groot first. In the Phase 1, you want to ban a bunch of things, but once they are banned, do not do them. I like to go in the order of parry heavy until those 2 are gone, and then do light attacks, and then do dex at the end. And then you do the prompts he gives you on the SP1, you hit him hard, and if you are smart, you will have had your relic equipped. Unlike me, because last time I did this run, I forgot to put 2 relics on my champions and did not realize it until I hit Psycho Man. So that made the run very cool, doing this guy with no relic to be able to pause my things on. It was not a fun time. I'm not even going to joke about that. So now we block dex, take hit. As you can see, I did Phase 1 all soloed that phase, and now we're in Phase 2 where he wants me to inflict a damaging effect, but he's locking my SP2, so I guess I just don't do that. Dex, block, dex. We have 1 token of whatever on me, and now we have 2 of them because he told me to not land a crit, which is virtually impossible if I'm hitting him, so it happened during my SP1. Pretty frustrating there, and I believe I'm gonna die because he gave me a prompt that I couldn't not do, or couldn't do, I don't remember. If it's inflicted damaging effect, then yeah, I'm just screwed. So once he chooses that prompt, it's literally game over. I'm gonna have to get a new champ or whatever. Anyway, now we drop the relic here. He's gonna give me another prompt in a moment. Block, hit, block, And is it inflict damaging effect? It is, so yeah, I just can't do it. It's kind of GG's. 40%, almost made it to the third phase, but yeah. So I used Deathless Thanos, got him in the third phase, somehow with like 1% health too, which was pretty funny. So now I gotta play with inverted controls, which, yeah, clearly that went very well for me. So then we're gonna get Vision, who does have inverted controls with his synergy. So is Vision useful? No. He's gonna be the most useful if you're a person who sucks at inverted controls like me, but like, no, he still feels miserable for this fight. He still feels miserable for everything. So here's my death compilation that I did for when I was using Wiccan, and now I'm doing it again here. Super fun. Eat a heavy attack, that's beautiful. And then I'm waiting out this one. Finally wound him. It was not as much of a death compilation, if I'm being entirely honest with you, as with Wiccan, but that's what happens when you actually bring a relic for a champion. Because the reason my Wiccan run went so bad is because I forgot it, but I remembered to put it on Vision, which means I only died 4 times in the same phase instead of 16. So I'd say that was a pretty good difference, right? So now we are getting to the final phase, eventually. He said stand still. I can do that, so he kind of blessed me a little bit. Get him into phase 4 with the SP3, and then I believe, not with the SP3, with a hit after the SP3, and I believe everything kind of goes pretty well in phase 4. If you are inverted controls immune, then yeah, you are big chillin' in this phase, which, you know, it should be the same case for phase 3, but because of that degen, it's not, which really sucks. It's like they wanted you to not bring inverted control immune, but that was still the easiest option anyway, so I don't know. I'm not going to complain about it, because it's not like the worst thing in the world that they're making you take degen for bringing inverted controls immune if they want to make it harder, but it still feels a little bit stupid to me. So in phase 4, your goal is to drop one of every special and intercept, and I believe heavy attack as well. I can't remember. And then once you do those things, he should be dead. So I'm going to go for an SP2 here. And now I just need to go for an SP3 that's going to remove the immortality. And then he's going to die with a hit afterwards. So it's kind of just a game of do not get touched on the way. And if you get touched by the SP2, though, it's fine, because that literally does nothing for some reason. If he, like, slaps you, you're dead. But if he triggers, like, the giant disco ball out of the sky, you can eat as many hits from that thing as you want, and you will be perfectly safe, because that's how that works. But anyway, SP3, it doesn't kill him, but it does remove the immortality, and then I light attack, and then he's dead, so yay, Vision did something, I guess. I don't know. So, grab my Deathless Thanos dupe there. 2 basic crystals is cool. And for my selector, I am going to pick the Titan Nexus, because I do not care enough about Maestro to play him or rank him for defense. Just not a champion I'm very interested in, even though I know a lot of people are. Just not for my cup of tea. So, I'm saving the Titan Nexus for the March updates, as for the fact that all 6 of the champions leave in the Titan pool. I do not feel that bad about not having. Maybe Northstar is like an exception, but I'm cool with not having Northstar. That's not a big deal to me. So all 6 of the people leaving, I am not going to want anyway, so it's kind of worth just saving. And Dazzler dupe is going to be in the next one. Also, that Null from the basic crystal is super cool. I really find Null to be an interesting champ, so I might rank that up in the future. This is a champion I definitely will rank up in the future, though, and that is a first-time dupe on Atuma. I'm not a fan of the skill class, but what I do like are some good skill defenders, so Atuma will probably be ranked up on my account fairly soon. And yeah, that's my little rewards opening, because again, I'm saving the Titan Nexus, and then I'm going to give some Sig Stones to Deathless Thanos, which it says 165 here. My Deathless Thanos is actually 169. So anyway, that's my Deathless Necropolis run. I hope this was helpful for you, and good luck to all of you guys on getting it done. I will happily answer any questions you might have for me about the run. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.